Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 108 of the Yarnivore podcast. I am Sadie, your host, also known as Sadie Ruin on Twitter and Instagram, and Blue Ruin on Ravelry. Did that backwards. Usually I do it the other way. Our Ravelry group is Yarnivorous, and you can come join there. That's where all the show notes will be found, where I link everything. That's right, I link things these days. And that's all in the Ravelry group. There's also a blog, which is sadieruin.wordpress.com, where I also post the podcast, links to the podcast. That's about it. I think that's everything. I don't usually start that way, so that's what you have it. There you have it. And I'm trying to get comfortable, and that is not something you can do these days. So, also, I'm not wearing makeup. If you notice, I dyed my hair again. It's been a bit since I recorded, but I dyed it. FYI, yeah, the bleach didn't do the right job, which is probably 25% pregnancy. 75% couldn't leave it on as long as I usually do because I was a little skeptical because of the pregnancy. The top part stayed pretty close to as I dyed it. It was called Electric Paradise. Need to cut off the ends of my hair. I'm waffling about getting a mom cut. It may happen, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get really annoyed and shave my head. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Hair is hair. It grows back. I'm not worried. But what I am worried about is I have no worries right now. I'm just really spacey. As far as my hair, though, I think I will get a bunch chopped off the ends because it's starting to not hold color anymore. And as a knitting podcast, I'm sure this is a thriller minute for you. So, nectar of the gods. Yes, my half calf is, it's all I got. Now, this episode is going to be a little bizarre because it's heavy on finished objects, light on whips, and then we've got some miscellaneous. But oh my, the knitting. The knitting. I feel like I've just been finishing things, which gives me great joy. I want to ride out this finishing without casting on things as long as I can close to the end of the year because I like to clear off as many needles as I can at the end of the year. I also get the feeling that whatever isn't done by the time the little one gets here is going to wait a lot longer than anything else. I am massive, by the way. Let's see here. See if I can show you without too much issue. I'm huge. And not just as a fat kid. I'm huge. Or as I tell my husband, I'm a house. So sitting at this point is very questionable, and this chair is not conducive to sitting. Alrighty, so I'm just going to jump right on in and run with it. Y'all can run with me. We'll run. Metaphorically, because I haven't run in years. Okay, I got my pom-pom. This is the last pom-pom for my subscription. I don't know that I'll be getting another subscription just because we're moving. I will probably just order them individually if I want them. Everyone's talking about this one because it's edited by Nora Gowan, who I love. She's my home slice. And I really liked the cover sweater until I saw the sleeves. My God, woman. Like, I love it until I see those poofy ass princess sleeves. Those are my favorite sleeves, said no girl who has big shoulders ever. Why would I add bulk to my already bulky frame? No. Nora, why? Why did you do that to me? I love you, but why? Now, and then this one, okay, I'm gonna take the piss out of most of these because I like them, but it's like, I want it. Why? Yet another why. No, there's a bit of glare here, but Let me go to the diagram. We're going to the diagram on this one. There are like 3 I would actually knit in here. Going to the diagram. Where's the diagram? Okay, so this one is by Caitlin Hunter, who's Boyland Knitworks, who everybody knits everything from. And, you know, she's lovely for the most part. But let's just look at that diagram. What is up with those sleeves? I can't even with the sleeves. Okay, I want people to tell me who's wearing those bloody sleeves. I like this one, but I think it's too cropped. Again, the Osmunda has the same sleeve issue. Are we trying to pretend that we have paws? Bubbles. 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 Who wants those friggin' bubbles? Okay, if you want the bubbles, more power to you. But could someone tell me why? Why with the bubbles? Why? Now, None Such by Veronica Avery. Veronica Avery is, that's gorgeous. That I would knit. The back cables kind of creep me out. I'm not sure what that's supposed to do for you at the back, except make you look really wide at the top and really nipped at the waist. I like the idea of being nipped at the waist, but being wide at the top, I'm indifferent to. However, I like the overall patterning and I like the front. Christabel by Andrea Rangel. Very simple. It's basically just some sleeve detail going on there. I like that. I know that these mittens would annoy the crap out of me with the finger thing. Okay, the Ataraxia by Linda Marvang. I love. I think on my body type it would look like ass, but I love it. I'm a sucker for that aesthetic. It's kind of militaristic. I love the back. I love the little peplumy flouncy thing. I'm a sucker for a peplum. And of course we've got the Joji Locatelli, which has some fringe here. Love me some fringe. I can dig me some fringe with some cables. I could see myself doing that one. But all in all, I think it was a very hit and miss issue. Still glad I have it. Still love Nora Gowan. It doesn't change. She can be very hit or miss. And I think her hits knock it out of the ballpark and her misses just... And that's because she's super artistic and creative, and that's bound to happen with any artistic creative person. My goal is to get through this episode without having to pause you to pee. We'll see. Alrighty, now into the FOs, because I've got a butt ton of them. There's one I forgot to show you last week. It has since been washed twice. Which shows you how great the yarn is. Not that I'm tooting my own horn, but it's Knitter's Nightmare. This is the Siren Sport in the colorway Supernova. And if you can't tell from the odd shape, this is called the Worcester Warmer. And it goes on the Snoot, who is wearing a different sweater right now. But it is this particular pattern, which is by Pamela Wynne, W-Y-N-N-E, is designed for dachshunds. You could also modify it from what I'm seeing on the... Yes, I'm playing with your sweater. You can also modify it for Sphinx cats, but it accommodates the wiener. So Sassy... right here. Come here, Snooch. Come here. Come here. Oops, oops. Okay, so this is my 18.8 pound sausage. And she's currently wearing a $5 Walmart sweater. And what you will notice is that we have a problem. She's got no head. Well, her head isn't really that big. And it goes into a huge neck. Can I turn you around? Can I show them your stomach? Oh, maybe. she's got this barrel chest here that kind of flumes out. Say hi, Snoot. Hi. And she's got a super long body. Why are you doing this to me? Why? Oh, death breath. Okay, go down. So, finding stuff that fits her can be hard. Because if you measure her chest, she's got something like a 21.5 inch circumference around her chest. Her neck is 16 inches. And what I found with a lot of things is she'll just walk right through them, or she'll get strangled. This particular one we've lucked out with. We've bought like 5 different sweaters, and none of them have fit her. So, this one is actually knit to her specifications, because this pattern has you take your measurements, you get gauge, then you go to town. I didn't rib as much as the pattern called for, and I think on the next one, because I'm going to do another one, I'm going to add those extra inches of ribbing, because we do need them. And then you do almost like a sock heel into the chest cavity, and you add some for their little front shovels. And then you go to town in the body, and then you have your little butt flap, which is also short row shaping. And this one fits pretty good. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen her wear it a few times, which is why it's been washed. Because she likes to get dirty. She's a dirty pupper. And she's cold, and now she's laying directly below me. But she's like, I'm not leaving you, man. I'm also very snuffly. I apologize. It's the weather here. Mostly because we've had a lot of wind and a lot of rain, which has blown the fallen leaves and mold and everything around, which just makes my sinuses go. So I actually finished that before the last show I did, but I forgot about it because she was wearing it, and that's easy to forget. It took less than a full skein of the Siren Sport, which is 300 and some yards. 328 yards. I would say it took about 0.75 of a skein of sport weight. So I'll do another one. The next one, I want to make it a little tighter. Like I said, it's been through the washer and dryer, and it shrunk up a little, but not much. You can tell just by the definition there that it has been through the washing machine. It just tightened it a bit, which is what we needed because it was a little loose to begin with, because my gauge was a little loose. So I'm probably going to go down a needle size next time I knit it. But all in all, the color stayed really well. Yeah, I would have no problem running this through the washer and the dryer. Maybe not every time through the dryer, but the occasional dryer would be fine, especially if you don't want it to stretch out. So yes, that I did. Then I finished the November Desert Vista Dye Work socks. They look like this. I've got a sock blocker right here. This is the Orca colorway on the Zion base, which is 75/25. Made these for me, which means I've only got December left to go. Oh my god, guys, I'm actually going to finish this. So they look like this. I did the Fish Lips Kiss heel because I was being lazy. Just your standard 64 stitch sock on a US 1 2.25 millimeter needle with Fish Lips Kiss heel, standard toe. These are a woman's 9.5. And yeah. I worked on them a fair bit. Like, I mean, I got them done ahead of time, which is good. Now I just have to pick my December socks, which I think I'll probably do another pair for my mother. because that would be a good Christmas gift. I usually give her a pair of socks at Christmas, and I gave her the last pair of socks I made her when I was visiting in September, October. So I need to make another pair of socks. That's what I need to do. So I may as well use my December ones. She's coming at the end of January. Holla. Actually, let's go this way because that makes more sense. That plays into my narration. Now, I finally finished the Elizabeth Zimmerman shawl. This is from February, from the Knitter's Almanac by Elizabeth Zimmerman. This is the square shawl. I used the supersized shawl kit from Knitter's Nightmare in the Prairie Sunset colorway. There are a couple of the regular shawl sizes still in the shop, so if you would like one of those, feel free to go forth and conquer. This has not been blocked, mostly because I don't have the floor space right now. I probably will sometime soon, just because cleaning up and getting stuff ready and moving things around. We put up the tree this weekend, so. But you can see the color gradient. However, I will admit, and this is the annoying part, this is where you lose yarn chicken, and then you put in like 4 rows, or 8 rows, 8 rows of another color, because that's what you lost at yarn chicken. And I don't really give a crap, because at that point I was like, I'm not ripping back, I'm just done. So, but it's huge, it's massive. Will cover me and a child. Could wear it as a huge. I'd probably only do that in Canada. Here it'd be too warm, but or you could throw it on the floor, have them play on it. Basically, it's the thneed. It's the thneed of pregnancy. It's a pregnant thneed. Because everybody do need a thneed. Yes, that's right. Let me just break out in the Lorax, shall I? I've always loved the Lorax, though. I prefer the original myself. Not the reimagining. I am such a purist, though. Like, there's a new Grinch out, and I'm like, no. We don't do this. We don't do this. Boris Karloff is the only... No. I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but no. No. Jim Carrey? No. And usually I like Jim Carrey. But so I finished this. Super proud of myself because it took forever. But it will be blocked and put into the baby area, which is right here. This is the baby blanket shelf. Those are just blankets. Because winter babies need lots of blankets. Actually, one is a car seat cover my aunt made. So I finished that and I figured, oh yeah, I can start another baby knit. I knit that, I believe, on a 3.5 or a 4. It's either a 3.5 millimeter or 4 millimeter. Doesn't really matter. Elizabeth Zimmerman even says it doesn't really matter. And then I did the knitted on border that it says you can do, which is also from the Knitter's Almanac. It's in the appendices. Now, let me just double check on something here. The Worcester warmer costs $3, and all proceeds go to, I believe, one of the Michigan SPCAs. So if you have a Sphinx cat or a Doxy cross that you need to knit a sweater for, I highly recommend it for Doxies. It fits them great, and it's for a good cause, and it's only $3. I have to see if this one costs money because I didn't write it down. The Elizabeth Zimmerman comes from a book. The Desert Vista Dye Works is my own recipe, which is adapted from the Yarn Harlot's recipe that's in one of her books. Yeah. Okay, so this one actually is free. It's by Yarn Madness. It's called Morpheus. It calls for DK weight. Mine's a little bigger than a DK, but I measured. I had originally used this is out of handspun. Here, let me show you the pattern. I'm all over the place. It's called Morpheus, and it looks like that. It is written for 3, 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years. And it's free on Ravelry. It's a great little pattern. Lots of people have knit it. 160 projects, so not too bad. And like I said, I had some handspun left over after I did the Enchanted Mesa. Because of the wedges, I ended up with a fair bit of yarn left over from some of the wedges. And one of the wedges was this color. And I really liked it, and I had a huge, because I had 8 ounces of that, and I didn't use that much, even though it was one of the bigger wedges. I ended up, and I still have a bit left over after making this. So this is the, I believe I made the 6-month size, because Yon Child is measuring ahead of schedule quite significantly. I am fingers crossed I don't have a 10-pound baby, but there is a strong chance that could happen to me. Does this look like an impressed face? It's not an impressed face. We're almost a pound ahead of schedule. I'm in the 82nd percentile. Thanks, husband. Thanks for those genetics. Anywho, so I was like, oh, if he pops up big and just gets bigger, 3 months is going to fit him pretty much at birth. And then we're going to grow. So 6 months is fine. It'll just be a little bit big on him. And I'll do short sleeves. And then it's got some open work. This will be good for spring too, I think. So I did the 6-month size. Did the short sleeves because I figure I'll probably put something on underneath it that might have long sleeves. This is a superwash, no, this is a regular merino, I believe. It's a super fine merino. It's a 3-ply, and I like the way it knit up. I think it's adorable. I have woven in the ends except for this one, because the way they have it, so you don't, it's a free pattern, so I can explain a little bit. It's a raglan start, but you don't actually join in the round for a bit. So you create this opening here, and there's a button so that you can button it closed once you get their ginormous heads in. So you have room to get them in. The other purpose for having these is what I found out through reading, or why sometimes they have those double joins at the sides, is so that you can just pull the thing down when you have a poo-splosion. So in case of poo-splosions, just slide it down. Slide it on down. That's why you need the big openings, aside from their ginormous heads. And let's see, is there, yeah, here's a close-up of what the button side looks like, which is nice. And it was a good way to use up some hand spun. Like I said, I used leftovers, and I still have leftovers. It's cute. I like the little pattern. Little pattern was super easily to memorize. It's a raglan, set up as a raglan. I could see myself doing one for the year or 2-year-old one too, just because it was super easy. Took a couple days. Like I said, you didn't see it before. It just got put on and I finished it. So that was super exciting. And that is by Yarn Madness. It's available on Ravelry and it's free. And you can do contrasting ribs and stuff and just go crazy. Go crazy. It's fun. Alrighty. That takes you through my finished objects. It does. It's a long show. It's a long show. Yay. I love those. And so the one work in progress that I've been doing knit-wise, because I'll have some sewing after this, is of course my Duval car coat from Expectant Little Knits, which I am hell-bent on finishing before I deliver. It looks like that. Or like that. And I'm getting so close, guys. I'm getting so close. I'm doing it out of Sadar Super Soft Aran, which I got from Webs. 100% machine washable, but soft. And using, I think it's a 6mm needle. Which begs ask the question, what the hell is taking you so long? It's the at the same time. But I am almost done. I am done the at the same timers. Let me tell you. I was watching the second season of Making a Murderer, or Making a Murder. Either way, second season, watching it. So you knew I had the back done. Right, so the back's done. Not much to show there. It's a giant back. And I'm keeping all the pieces in my fat squirrel. Like, it's not big enough to keep everything, but I'm keeping the pieces in this bag. And so far I can ram them all in. Then I believe you saw, I was working on one of these. This is, let's see, this is the left front piece. And it's got like this going on at the bottom, but then you add like a crap ton of ribbing. So I got this one done. So left front done. Right? I don't think you saw the left front done. Finished the left front, got the right front done. As you can see, it's rolling in on itself. I need to fix that. Oh, that's why, okay. Little end that needs to be sewn there. So the right front also done. So you sew the right front and the left front to the back at the shoulders. And then I have one sleeve. You need two sleeves. Two sleeves are required. Go figure. I have one done. I do love this texture here. It's called a slipped rib, I believe. And I love it. So, yes. So I have one sleeve done. When I finish the second sleeve, okay, so that's one sleeve. So I have a sleeve to go, and then essentially the body is done. So what I do after that is I sew the fronts and backs together at the shoulders, set the sleeves in, seam the sides, and then I do half of the side ribbing at a time because it's massive and you knit it for like ever. And then you do the other side ribbing, and then you sew those together and you're done. So I'd say I'm probably past the 50% mark. The body is done. One sleeve is done. I have one sleeve to go. And then the ribbing of doom. I think I can do it. I think I can. I'm going to focus on that because, like, there's no way I'm going to finish my Joji Locatelli knit along one. It's not happening. Boxy can wait. There's not Boxy, Cozy Neighborhood. The Cozy Neighborhood can wait. And I'm at a point where the sleeves are pretty easy. There's not a lot of at the same time. It's on each side. Every other row you do something. And that seems to be okay for my mind to work with. So, yeah. Now I just need my hands to chill out. Because of Thanksgiving and just the holidays in general, we went to a work potluck for Thanksgiving, so I made pierogies. And if you've ever made homemade pierogies, there's a lot of hand work, which will, if you have rough hands at the time, will make them swell up and be unhappy, which meant I couldn't knit for a bit. I did cookies for my husband's shop on the ship, and so that also meant I couldn't knit for a bit. 'Tis the name of the game, and I do wear braces to sleep at night now, and they do help, but I have to take time off and I have to do everything in intervals, and it kind of slows me down, but I will get this done before I give birth. Oh yes, I will. And then, okay, so that's the only work in progress I really have because I finished everything else. I've got a couple of things that I want to start, or I want to get back to, but I'm kind of like motivated on this one project. I've got a couple others. Like I said, I'm trying to pick them off rather than start anything new, except for the December socks. Now, transitioning into miscellaneous. So if all you care about is the knitting, then this is where we say goodbye, and I don't, no harm, no foul. Hope you enjoyed. But if you care about sewing and stuff, then we'll jump right on in. I picked up this pattern a while ago. It's the See and Sew B6364. Who does See and Sew? I think it's Simplicity. No, Butterick. It's by Butterick. It's a Butterick. It was on sale. I picked it up at Joann's on sale. And my husband picked out this fabric. Because Halloween is every day in our lives. And you can never have too many Pokemons. So we have a couple of sleep sacks / bunting bags, and I think they're just going to come in handy in terms of the chilliness of our area and the fact that we use a wood stove rather than our electric heating because it's way cheaper. So we just bundle up, and I think this will be a great little bundle upper. And then I matched it in the front. I was pretty pumped at how well I matched the Pikachus there. And yeah, it's out of a polar fleece, I want to say. Is that what it's called? It's a fleece. But it's a cute little bunting bag. This is for the 3-month-old size. And it's massive, so I don't know how big they think a 3-month-old is, but I think this will last for far longer than a 3-month-old size. However, it's not a bad thing. Some kids love to sleep in them after forever, so I'm just going to run with it. And then, okay, so that was the bunting bag, which is number C on here. And what had happened was I went out, I didn't have the zipper. Oh, and I haven't done the little snappy thing because I don't have a snap maker and I need to go out and get one. And then I will do the snappy thing. But I went out to get the zipper. And for some reason, I got the wrong zipper. I got the zipper that called for on this jacket rather than the zipper that was called for on the bunting bag because I misread the back because that's who I was that day. And subsequently went back and got the right zipper, but I had the zipper for this, so I figured why not just get some more fabric and do that sweater because it's cute, the jacket. And for some reason we don't have a lot of jackets. We have a lot of sweaters. Like I could layer the crap out of this kid, but I think we have a 9-month jacket, which might still work, but that our neighbors gave us. However, I don't know that we have anything for like early on. So I figured I will just keep this zipper and I will go and I will get some fabric. So we went to Joann's because of course the husband loves the idea of like specialty clothes for the baby, so he likes the touch. We picked this fabric up. Can't start them too young now, can you? And I have gotten the hood done. So we got the little hood. It's got this stretchy elastic in it. Basically I just need to put the sleeves on and do the hem. But we have the zippers in and the little pockets. The little pockets were a beast, but they are functional little pockets. So all I have left is the sleeves and the hem. hems, sleeve hems and the bottom hems, but that's not too bad. And then it'll be done. And for this one, I did the size, goes newborn, small, medium, large, and I did the small, which should be 3 months. The difference is 1/2 inch. The newborn is 16.5 and the small is 17. So either way, be a cute little jacket and we'll use it. So on that one, it calls for 7/8 of a yard, and I got a yard. So I have enough left that I could probably do the hat here, this little hat, because the hat takes 3/4, it says, but I think I could do it anyway, just because of how it's laid out. I think I'd be fine. So might try and sneak a hat out of that. But really, okay, so the weight for a small is 13 to 17 pounds. The weight for a newborn is 8 to 12, so I'm not particularly worried. And if it's a little big, whatever, I'll just roll up the sleeves and keep going. But had loads of fun sewing it so far. I just have to take breaks because, again, my feet swell. Everything swells. I'm swelly. It's the joy, the joys. Actually, I've done this before. So the funny thing about the pituitary tumor I had, I just feel like I'm back in high school. The last thing that I have written down here is that there are some sales in the shop right now. I have reduced the price of all the singles yarn. So all singles yarn is now $25 instead of $28 a skein. So go forth and conquer on that. Sweater quantities have been reduced significantly. So you can actually, it's like getting 5 skeins for the price of 3.5, 4. So that's not too bad. And yeah. Moving forward with the shop, I have some yarn that I have to finish dyeing, and that's going to be finished dyeing. However, basically, I'm going to be clearing everything out by the end of the year, because I am not going to be continuing on in the new year. I'm going to be very busy with the baby and moving to Canada. And once we get to Canada, it will no longer be financially feasible. And I'm just going to break it to you now. I've discussed this with a couple of my dye friends, and I'm not sure if it's that it's the current market or what have you. But it's been really harder lately to earn what we used to earn. Our baseline incomes have changed in terms of dyeing. And I've gotten a lot of response from people, particularly my Canadians, whom I love. I love my Canadians, who are so happy that I'm going to be dyeing in Canada. I'm not. When the end of 2018 comes, that will be the end of Knitter's Nightmare for at least 4 to 5 years. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't foresee it coming back, because my husband will be going to school. He will no longer be receiving the same amount of money. I will become the major breadwinner. I will have to go out and get a regular job, because if you're not one of the big companies, if you're one of the smaller indies, you're not making a lot of money. This is not enough money for anyone to live on. I am a secondary income. I always have been a secondary income. And this year particularly has been rough in terms of generating sales. And I think it has to do with the economy, but it's also been hard on other indies I know. And if you're not making the sales, then you just got to move on. I have been able to continue onward with it because I am a secondary income. But when I become the primary income in Canada, I will be in charge of making enough money for myself, my husband, and my child. And quite frankly, there's not enough money in it. And my best advice to people, and it has absolutely nothing to do with me, like, if you like my yarn and stuff, continue to buy it. Great, that's wonderful. I love all of my customers. I love people who, you know, share the posts and whatever, and, you know, I have some amazing customers. But I also understand that we all have yarn buying issues, and indie yarn is more expensive than non-indie yarn. I completely understand. We're on a fixed income just like everybody else. But we're going to see a lot more indie yarns closing, particularly stateside, if we don't start supporting them better, because the prices of everything are going up. The prices of shipping are going up. The prices of the bases are going up. And some people will not be hurt because they've got the brand recognition, the name recognition, and they're big enough. But the little guys, the really little guys, like me, I'm not going to name names, but there are some others who I know of. We're making big decisions to close our shops. We're making big decisions as to whether or not to close our shops based off of a month-to-month sales bracket. And I can afford to do it because I'm going to be staying home with my kiddo, and I'm going to be planning a cross-country move. And in Canada, it's not going to be feasible. It's not going to... I need to make an income of over $2,000 a month, or $1,500 a month at least, and I don't do that. Furthermore, when you switch from Canada to the US, you don't have the sales bracket unless you're bigger. So there's no way I can generate that amount of sales. I'm not doing it now. There's no way I can project that I will. So I'm sure this has been very boring for some people. And this is not go buy my shit. Well, go buy my shit because you're not going to be able to get it after the end of the year. But it's also a, please go support your indies. And when I say that, I don't mean the people who are constantly selling out, who have absolutely no problems. You know, keep buying them, fine. Like, I mean, they got there that way. But your little yarn companies that are struggling, help them out if you care, because they're not going to be here at the end of the day. Back when I started podcasting, there weren't a lot of podcasters, and there were even less indie dyers. And back when I started indie dyeing, there weren't that many indie dyers, so we could all share freely. But as the marketplace has become saturated, it's definitely changing, and it's changing in ways I'm not sure. I don't know how to reconcile it mentally, because there are people that I really love who are going to be affected by it. But I think if we all just supported our people a little better, you know, rather than you know, don't buy the skein of Madeline Tosh, buy the skein of XYZ Fiber or XYZ Dyer or whatever. You know, pass on the hedgehog and get someone who is small and who will actually make a difference in their business. Because if you're looking at them and you go, oh, but I want to get this sweater's worth over here, they're not going to be around. It's that simple. And it's quite sad. But now that I have depressed everyone, I am going to go and get some stuff done around the house. I will be back with you in approximately 2 weeks, or a week. Who knows? Who knows anymore? I think it's been 3 this time. The closer we get to the 40-week gestation point, the weirder things are going to get. I'm at 31 and a half weeks now, so Just wait for it. Just wait until the craziness ensues. And of course, once I birth, there will be a hiatus. We can expect that. Until then, I hope you have a great time. I hope you enjoy everything you do. Stealing from Tracy there. And I'll see you in a while. Bye.